Hi again, everybody. This video is sponsored by a contribution from Anonymous, and here's her story. Dear Ollie from Anonymous, I recently have gotten back together with my high school sweetheart. We are middle-aged. We have been back together for 3 months. He did propose marriage and I accepted. This was all very wonderful. We both have had a full life, and he has asked me about my past, and he has told me about his past. He had a colorful past. I have some concerns about some of the things he has done in the past, and some of the things he says now, and some of the stories he tells me. When he was young, he left home early because his mother was religious and very controlling, and he wanted to do whatever he wanted. He got into stealing and drug dealing after him and I broke up as teenagers. We were very young when we were together, and we basically broke up because his behavior got very wild after he left home, and he felt I would not allow him to do whatever he wanted. My mother was in the same controlling religion as his mom, and I also refused to have anything to do with the religion about 6 months before I met him as a teenager. I have struggled with the effects of my dysfunctional upbringing, but have also had many good things in my life. We are now back together, and he tells me he wants to tell me about his past so I would know everything about him. He has also asked many questions about my past and wanted to know, in my opinion, maybe too much detail about my past. He told me many things. He had a few serious relationships and he had a few children. He never married his baby's moms, and he does not have visitation with one of his children. His first child died as an infant when he was a very young man. He spent a lot of time telling me the story and telling me how the death of his child messed him up. I would have been messed up too if it happened to me. Well, it sounded like he was already messed up before he had the child. That sounds like a guilt play. Remember, he was stealing and doing all that stuff, so he was messed up before he had this kid. That's why he broke up. When he tells me about his past, he says he used to get into fights often with other men. He has had some run-ins with the law when he was young. He says he now has nothing to do with gangs for years. One of the many things he told me about was that 2 of his past girlfriends were gangbanged by the gang he was involved with, and this was devastating for them. Gee, you think? Then he tells me one of his other girlfriends liked having sex with several of the gang members at one time, and their relationship got even stronger after the incident. He he wants group sex. He has mentioned a few times how he was at gangbang parties and would see lesbians working out. Yeah, he wants you to be with a chick. I just sat and listened to these stories, and inside felt bad for him having to be around all that and thinking the kind of sexuality that was gross. I am confused by why a man would tell me these kind of stories. What is his purpose? Is he grooming me? No man has ever told me things like this. Yes, he's grooming you. He wants to see what you're open to. He's putting it out there. He's grooming you for his sexual fetishes. Within the first week of us being back, because I'll tell you this, none of those people in that lifestyle who do that shit ever grow out of it. It's like it's another disease for them. It's an addiction. They don't grow out of it ever. Within the first week of us being back together, I did explain to him that I am a monogamous type of person, that I only have sex with my monogamous partner that I have a significant relationship with. I told him I'm a demisexual. Another day he told me that he did lose interest in having sex after the drama with his baby mama, and he is often celibate, and he is not as good at sex as he used to be. Although I thought the sex we are having now is good, and I told him that. He has mentioned that his penis may be too small and that it might not satisfy me. I have said I am satisfied with him and our sex. He's grooming you. He is so grooming you. He has mentioned that he's not the sexual bull he used to be, and he does not have the stamina he used to have and is not able to hold back ejaculation like he used to. Then I would tell him I like the sex we are having. At first, I did find all of this odd, but I put it down to performance anxiety because he was in that lifestyle and everything he's talking about is all shit that is said within there. That's what he's doing here. He may not be able to have a normal sexual relationship. I'm satisfied with the sex we were having. He spends a lot of time talking about sex. Then he spends a lot of time telling me that sex is not important to him. He started telling me that several of his past girlfriends have cheated on him, and some of his past relationships have been open, and he does not mind this as long as there's lots of communication. He's grooming you for all of this. He's grooming you for all this. See, he's telling you his dick is small and he can't hold out because he's hoping that you'll want to say, okay, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe I do need some bigger. And this is what he's grooming you for. So he's actually kind of putting himself down in the hopes that you'll agree with him and agree to an open relationship. So then hence he can go out and bang more random skanks, which is really what he wants. One time he told me how he talked to swingers online before we met. And he was considering a threesome. This is all how it goes. One day he told me the woman from this conversation got a hold of him and asked him if he was interested and said he was not because he was now in a monogamous relationship. So it's your fault. Not that he doesn't want to do it, but he's in a monogamous, it's you who is monogamous. Remember that. So by proxy, he's kind of like laying a little guilt at your feet. But then he went on to tell me the woman offered to have me get involved in the swinging if I would like that. I told him to lose her email and never talk to her again. Oh, that must have crushed him. This is how all these swinger guys, this is how it works. I'm telling you, this is how it works. This is what he's grooming you for. We started falling into a pattern of a good weekend together where we enjoy our time in each other, and then him creating some drama through texting once I left. Yeah, and then he probably pulls out the sex thing again. He's trying to corner you, break you down, and then make you more susceptible to the suggestion where now you'll do it to make him happy. That's what the fighting is. One time he got mad at me for telling him at 6 a.m. I was going to go back to my house for a few days to spend time with my 19-year-old son. He got mad once I was gone and started texting that I did not give him enough warning, and he found my behavior deceptive. He accused me of seeing another man while I was at home seeing my son. I told him I was just going for a few days back to my house and I could do what I needed to do. He then blew up even further and refused to discuss it, and even insisted on bringing my clothes back. Yeah, this is his moment where he's going to try to break you. So then you'll come back and be more susceptible for whatever he wants. And then he posted on Facebook how sad he was to be broken up and that he must not be marriage material. And then in the comment section of this post, he stated that he was considering overdosing on cocaine. Once I posted this on Facebook, I posted a comment on it by saying he was the one who broke it off because I went home to see my son. Eventually, he apologized for this, but he still did not like how I abruptly went home after a few days when I thought the situation was resolved. I went over to visit him, and when I got there, received a lecture how he did not like how I was trying to talk him into converting to my Christianity, which was not true and way off base. He offered some more times to allow for an open relationship for various reasons, and I would respond by telling him to stop being rude and disrespectful. He would say that he could tell that I was unsatisfied sexually by how I behaved in the bedroom, and that how we should break up or have an open relationship. What the fuck kind of talk is this? I never heard this kind of insecurity or whatever it is. It is not insecurity. He's trying to push you towards this. It isn't. He's doing it under the guise of insecurity. hoping you eventually agree with him. This is what he wants. He wants you to go off and bang other guys so he can go bang other chicks. I'm telling you, that's what he wants. This last weekend, after a good weekend together, I thought we were finally past all this performance anxiety and insecurities. I went home to work for the week, and when I got home, I started getting texts from him. For the sixth time in our short relationship, he was offering an open relationship. I told him he was rude and disrespectful, and I only like monogamous relationships. In these texts, he said that he loved me so much, and he was so devoted to me, and wanted me to be happy, and he wanted a long-term relationship, that he thought an open relationship was needed. I need you to fuck other guys so you can love me better. He just wants to bang other women. That's what he wants. It's his fetish. This is how these guys operate. He says he can be very boring, and two of his girlfriends found him boring, and they wanted an open relationship. Then he told me I wanted the open relationship, and he was willing to stay loyal to me, even though I saw others. He insisted he loved me more than I loved him. He says that he's completely loyal and monogamous to me, but he's offering open sexuality to me. This conversation went on for some time, with him insisting he was being loving, and me insisting that the suggestions were sick. I have now told him I need some time to think. He thinks he's breaking you down. If you told him you have some time, I feel like he's trying to talk me into some sort of open relationship and somehow trying to manipulate me into thinking it's my idea. Clearly. A few days later, I told him this, and he tells me I've completely misunderstood him. He now says he wants a completely monogamous relationship. He says he loves me and is devoted to me. What is going on with this guy? I've never had a man ever suggest or tell me these types of things. I am alarmed. I am confused because he tells me he loves me. He has lots of emotional history and feeling tied up in him. At first I felt like a breath of fresh air. I guess I would have left long before now if it was any other man. My friends tell me to run. Anonymous. Run. That's what he wants. That's what he wants. He wants him. That's what he wants. He's a swinger. He was always a swinger. He's making up all this other bullshit, performance anxiety shit, and trying to make it like it's your idea. You're obviously not into it at all. Okay, and that's why he keeps backing off on it. But he's going to keep trying. And the fighting is going to get worse, and the outbreaks are going to get more intense. This is going nowhere. Nowhere. If it was anyone else, he would have left. So why is he getting anything special? Because he got fucked up because his son died? That's not what fucked him up. He was going downhill before he had the kid. That's a lie right there. These guys lie. No, they all lie. Lie. It's all lies and manipulation and turning it around, causing a fake fight, and it's right back to this. This is his tactic, and it's not going to change. He might behave himself for a little while, but it's going to start up again, I guarantee you. I guarantee you. These people get this look in their eye, and it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. It's another addiction. And he has it, and you have to make a really hard decision here because you're not going to be able to change him. People who are into that never leave it. The ones who are into it. And he's clearly into it. Just by his suggestion alone. So, thank you for your contribution, and thank you for your story. That's a good one. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who's watching. Please leave any comments or opinions in the comment section below. And if you have a story or audio that you would like on my channel, or you would just like to contribute and see the channel grow, the PayPal link, you know what to do with it in the description box. I'll have the video right back to you. This is Ollie Matthews. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all again soon. Bye.